She let who in with my kids? Am I the asshole for not wanting my SIL to babysit my sons? Fake names being used. I, F34, feel like my family is missing the issue I have with this whole situation. Although maybe I am in the wrong. I don't know. I'm on throwaway because my husband, David, M31, believes in personal issues should stay personal. And the friends and family that is on here only follow parenting-related subreddits, and not interested in judgment ones. But I feel like I need different POVs. My SIL, Candy, F27 is a Sakwa. She and her husband are child-free and have 2 small dogs. Candy is extremely good with children, so she would babysit our sons, Gani, N7, and Benny, M9. I would drop them off at her house before I leave for work. Yesterday, Candy casually mentioned that she met the young woman again who she allowed to stay at her house when it was raining. Granted, nobody knew about this. Apparently, this happened 3 weeks ago. Her reasoning for not mentioning it before is because she didn't think it was a big deal, and she's telling it now because she thought it was a funny coincidence. She actually thought the idea that she had a complete stranger at her home with 2 young children is funny. She offered to share the video of her interaction with the girl at that time, which I feel like she should have shared that at the time it was happening. She thought it would put my mind at ease to see that the girl didn't pose a threat and that she did leave once the rain stopped, like she promised, and was apologetic for inconveniencing her. That's still a stranger. There's no way Candy could have known that she was lying at the time. I'm still on the fence on whether or not that woman was a threat. Situation seems too strange. It's because of that nonchalant attitude that I decided that I don't want Candy to babysit our sons. I told David that we need to figure out other childcare options. Maybe go back to the YMCA childcare center. Until then, I told Candy to share access to their cameras to me, and thankfully she and her husband agreed. Now, nobody has said that I was wrong to be upset about that incident. However, they still think that I should continue allowing her to babysit the boys. Saying the same thing that it didn't seem like a big deal. Family-wise, my mom is the only one supporting my choice. Top comment by Radiant Habit, 4660, about 500 upvotes. OP, you left out a lot of context. Amp story. Here you should add SIL inviting a women inside. And then the story of how Amp, a stranger, was let inside so we can actually determine who, if anyone, is an AH. Update me. When that happens, Amp, I'll edit this with judgment. ETA, YTA, and honey, please, get into therapy before you alienate everybody, hubby and kids included, and traumatize your kids. I pray your family sees these posts and get you into some therapy before you have a serious breakdown. Reply by additional T1521, about 90 upvotes. I've read a bunch of comments from OP, who's really rude to people asking for more info. I wonder if she has an issue with the SIL. She's not interested in discussing what she pays SIL. Reply by Best VDV Diver. Because she pays her 0, Lamayo. Reply by Flip-Ups, about 50 upvotes. As a child-free auntie, I can promise it's 0, lol. Reply by JDawn82, about 40 upvotes. She also posted previously and wasn't happy with the verdict, so posted again trying to get a different verdict. Reply by Moldy Avocados, 9 upvotes. As a child-free aunt, it's 0. Everyone assumes that. Because you're child-free, you have endless hours of unfilled time, and you should be grateful when someone expects you to look after their kids for free. What else would you be doing with all that time, after all? Reply by Comfortable Ice 9379, about 30 upvotes. Literally, what the heck is going on? I'm picturing a scene out of The Strangers. Run. Reply by Roxas of Sorrow, XIII, about 50 upvotes. Honestly. I'm picturing Hallmark after reading some comments. Neighborhood girl goes jogging and is caught in a storm, so she seeks shelter. Shares the experience in a funny quip in passing next time they meet. In the Hallmark version, one is a man. They'll meet again, date, a huge misunderstanding will happen, and they'll break up. But don't worry, they'll be back together by Christmas. Edit typo, reply by Crocodile Zebra Milk, about 20 upvotes. In the update, OP discloses that the woman was never inside the house. She stayed outside on the porch the entire time. Reply by Radiant Habit 4660, 9 upvotes. I saw that. I also saw how they thought how silly I, and so many others commenting here, for needing context like that, as it shouldn't matter. Funny how all the info revealed in the update cement OP as AH. I still stand by OP being in dire need of therapy, AH or not. The amount of irrational fear they have is going to have devastating consequences soon enough. Reply by Boopsie Daisy 469, 8 upvotes. The stranger spent the entire time on the porch. Reply by Old Compode 7232, 8 upvotes. It looks like the SII invited the stranger in because it was raining. How the stranger happened to be at SIL's door, IDK. Reply by Traditional Bag 45008, 4 upvotes. Exactly. Very confusing. Reply by Villaloo Lazy, 5 upvotes. Big swaths of context getting left out in this manner is very common for AI. Just saying. Reply by The Final Filter, about 100 upvotes. This whole thing is odd. OP is acting like babysitting her children is a privilege. Easy answer, just hire a babysitter. You can pay them what pays SIL, because I am hoping you at least pay her, Or is the privilege of seeing your children enough of a payment in your mind, OP? It sounds like OP is trying to police who SIL lets in her own house and is trying to use children as the way to do it. Reply by Radiant Habit 4660, about 40 upvotes. I don't like playing therapist as we truly know nothing about OP. But this is reading out to be like OP is in a manic episode, missing so much in the story, nonsensical responses to comments, and sending me a message directly asking why does it matter if she let the stranger inside, which is now implying this woman wasn't even inside the home, which, in my opinion, makes them significantly less of a threat, and this and even more innocent interaction on SIL part are all symptoms of being in a manic episode. I hope OP is okay, honestly. Reply by Celtic Lady 47, about 20 upvotes. In OP's update, she tells us what the conversation was between SIL and the stranger. The woman just asked if she could wait on SIL's porch during the rain and left not too long afterwards. She wasn't inside the house at all, and the front door was locked. OP's overreacting a huge amount here. There was no danger. Reply by Gatsby Gala, about 90 upvotes. Yeah, I feel like OP rewrote the post a few times and cut out the intro to the extra woman in a draft or something, because there's a lot missing here. Like, is this common occurrence? Do we think the random woman was actually stopping by to sell drugs? Like, what do we think is going on here that this one-time incident is so suspicious? Reply by Radiant Habit 4660, about 40 upvotes. The only positive is we know this isn't a bot farming karma. OP's responding but yet not fixing the actual post. I'm thinking the conflict is still too fresh, so their emotions are making them on the attack, oblivious most of the story is missing. Reply by Funbanker 1984, about 200 upvotes. Right? This story is so hard to follow. I legit don't understand what's going on. I read it a few times, too. OP, please put together a coherent story with all the context of this stranger being at her house when it rains.
26F. Think my boyfriend. In the time we've been together, his chronic pain. My 14 years old son ghosted. Yelk does not belong in scrambled eggs.